Welcome back, everyone. We're here today bringing in the weekend edition of the show of the Cabral Concept. These are our Cabral House Calls, my opportunity to answer our community's questions. So as always, thanks so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to seeing what we have today from the community with questions. And of course, these come in each and every day at stephencabral.com/ask Cabral. They do take about 12 weeks, potentially more to answer, just depending on how many questions we get in the queue, and I answer about a dozen for Saturday and Sunday combined. But always remember, ask that question over at cabralsupportgroup.com, even if you write it in here, because the truth is you don't want to wait 12 weeks for a place to get started, all right? Let's dive right into this weekend's Start to the Questions. The first one, just opened up my big document the team sent over, and it looks like it's from Maria. Maria says, hello, and thank you for all you do. I'm really enjoying listening to your podcast, and I have gotten really good at searching for things. I wanted to know if you can recommend a brand of, and this says Box Pile, but I think that you mean Ox Bile. I think it was probably just a little bit of a voice text issue. I do that all the time. I looked and can't find the brand that you recommend. I'm sorry if there's one, but I can't find it. Thanks for the recommendation. Okay. Yeah. So what happened was about 3 years ago, I was already 3 or 4 years into doing the Cabral Concept podcast. I had to take down, 1,800 podcast pages with the links to all the different products that I recommend and love. And that is because if you name a disease, you cannot then link to a product, because the FDA doesn't allow that, because they only allow prescription drugs to be linked to diseases. It's just the way the world works. Not my world. Don't enjoy it, but it is what it is, and I have to play by the rules. So that's that. Really simple, though. Just email support@equa.life for our what's called Wellevate link, and that's all of the products outside of Equalife that are not on the Equalife website. All right. And so they'll be happy to send you that. The product isn't free, of course, because whatever company we recommend, and we always update it, they charge, but we don't charge anything for that service. All right. So it's basically practitioner-based brands. I'm the practitioner. I give you the option to choose to purchase these through other great brands, and there you have it. So just support@equa.life. And, just keep in mind, I won't mention a name right now, because what if we update it in the future, right? So just do that, and they will absolutely get you that link. Let me see if I can find it right now. I don't know that I can, but let me just see if I can type my name in and type in Wellevate. We'll see what happens. I potentially have found it. No, I didn't find it. Sorry about that. But I know the team will have it for sure. All right. Maria might be up again, or it's just 2 Marias in a row. Hi, Dr. Brawl. I first wanted to say I love your podcast, and it's been a huge inspiration for me to move from conventional medicine to integrative medicine, which is my true calling. I would love to hear more of your ideas on vaccines for children and what parents should be considering as far as the benefits and risks. Again, such a fantastic resource for everyone. Thanks. Maria, now I know that you are a fairly new listener to the show, but of course, I appreciate you. I love all of our new listeners to the show. And because if you've been a long-time listener, you know that I can't talk about vaccines on the show. No natural health doctor is allowed to do that. That's just the way that it is. I have to keep it at that. Unfortunately, I am very balanced in my approach to health in general. My only goal is to serve people and help them stay well, and that includes their children. I've been all through this with my wife and my 2 daughters that are now 8 and 10 years old. I would do anything for them, and of course, that means whatever is in their best interest. But unfortunately, that is not a topic that you are allowed to talk about online. If you have any dissenting views, even if you believe in some and not believe in others, if you don't believe in the whole thing, then you're considered a conspiracy theorist, a this, that, or the other thing. And so all I can say is, please just do your own research, type in benefits of, and then type in side effects or potentially, harmful. So you just, again, look at both. Anybody who's not willing to do that means they're too wrapped up in one particular ideology. That can be very, very dangerous. All right, Maria, but I appreciate you. Thank you. Lauren's up next. Hello, I'm wondering what your thoughts are around endometriosis. I've had laparoscopic surgery about a year ago, and although my periods are not as excruciating anymore, they are still painful, meaning I'm still relying on painkillers and needed to take time off work. Despite the endometriosis being removed, my gynecologist solution is to be on birth control or an IUD, which still isn't right for me. Why would I still be in pain if the cause of the pain has been removed? It's a very good question, and that's because it was not the only cause. But let's move on. Every practitioner has a different view on the reason, but despite doing all of it, acupuncture, chiro, naturopath, mind massage, Chinese medicine, pelvic physiotherapy, etc., I am yet to find anything that truly helps my symptoms. All right, I got it, totally understand. So the truth is this. Listen, I obviously did not have endometriosis, but I had my own health issues. And many people have their own health issues, and they lasted years and years and years and been through conventional medicine, which is allopathy, and then even natural medicine, which is naturopathy. The problem is this. This is most likely a hormonal-based issue still with an inflammatory underpinning that you need to find out. Like, that's the thing is like, so we see this all the time. Again, 70% of our practice is women. We are looking, I mean, if you have to run that stress, mood, and metabolism test. There's no other way around it. Honestly, like ideally you would run the big five. That's the truth. If you run the big five, then you know what's going on inside of your body. Because your acupuncturist, your chiro, your naturopath, your mind massage, your Chinese medicine, your pelvic floor physiotherapist, they are all guessing as to what it may be. Now, one of them might get it right, but you only know if you test. That's it. And 8 out of 10 times it's going to be hormonal. And that means you have estrogen dominance. Most likely this is a scenario. Most likely the scenario is estrogen dominance, lower cortisol in the morning, higher cortisol in the evening, potentially bordering on higher testosterone, and potentially blood sugar imbalances. Like that's what I see all of the time. But again, I'm just guessing, right? If I tell you that, because again, like I'm always honest with people. I've seen more than 250,000 labs, right? So I've seen this over and over, and I want to just help people. But the truth is that this will give you the answer you're looking for. So that is my answer. It's at stephencabral.com/big5 or stephencabral.com/hormones-test. Each one of those. So the hormones test is part of the big five, but you might not want to run the whole thing because of financial reasons. Both of those are going to come with an entire plan that's dedicated for you to rebalance your body. There's nothing else like it in the world. There's nothing less expensive than it in the world. Like you don't even pay for an extra health coaching appointment. So that's up to you. But again, you can run this with anybody in the world that you want. You can see the markers that we run. We give it all away. We open source it. You just decide who you want to run it with. That's all. All right. Thank you, Lauren, for writing in. Appreciate you. And you'll figure this out. No doubt about it. You'll figure it out. Brittany's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Can you talk a little bit about skin Petechiae? I believe that's how you pronounce that. I've actually seen it. I have never seen it phonetically written out to see the exact pronunciation, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I have a few small red dots not close together on my stomach that my doctor has more or less said not to worry about. They've been there for a few years. I've noticed them after birthing my second child, but that doesn't mean they weren't present beforehand. I haven't changed. I'm not really concerned, but I do feel like it's a reflection of something internally. Any thoughts? Okay. Well, if it's really, again, I don't know the answer, so I'm sure there's a few nurses out there and a few other doctors that know the exact pronunciation. But essentially what it is, I mean, if this is really what it is, it's broken blood vessels and capillaries under the skin, creating these red dots that looks like a rash, which is fairly serious. Usually it's caused by an infection, an injury, a viral inflammatory issue that's causing this. So it would be strange if that's what it was and your doctor said not to worry about it. Now, if there's only a couple, interesting to see if that's really what it is, right? Like, I don't have photos. I have no idea. You know, what if it's, I would also look up something called cheryangioma. So again, I have to give you my disclaimer. I'm not here to provide any medical diagnosis, medical treatment plan, medical cure, or medical, what's the other one? Advice. There we go. Okay. So that's my disclaimer. I would look up cheryangioma just to see that it's not a mistaken for under the skin versus over the skin. And that's that. I mean, because usually, again, it's broken capillaries. So just find out, does it happen with exercise, with workouts, with straining, Because maybe when you had childbirth, I don't know if you had a C-section before or not, the muscles, what's called the transverse abdominis, and maybe the oblique aren't in exact alignment anymore. It's causing some friction there. Again, this is my, I always say it's the next place to look, all right? So that's what I would do, is the next place to look. Stormy is up next. Stormy says, I've always worked out 5 days a week and walked 20,000 steps on the weekends. I'm 48 years old. I've done the 16-8 fasting for 3 weeks. Started losing when I increased my protein and decreased my carbs during week 3. I lost 3 pounds. I don't want to lose more than 10 pounds. I weigh 143 pounds and I'm 5'2". I've always been blessed with muscles. My calorie intake is 1,600 to 2,000 calories a day. I had bloating issues and they are gone. I want to remain healthy. What do you suggest would be the best eating plan? I also do not want to mess with my hormones or muscle mass. Fantastic. What I would do, if you only want to lose no more than 10 pounds, is do a 7 or 14 day functional medicine detox, where then you begin to slowly then increase your carbohydrate intake after that to maintain your ideal goal weight. So you'll lose the 10 pounds. So you might even want to do 21 days. If you've never done a functional medicine detox, you might lose like 7 to 12 pounds. And then you can always gain back too if you don't want to lose that extra, right? Or you can always slow down the detox if you choose to, if that's what you want to do it for. So that's what I would do. And then I would slowly just add back in those carbohydrates, starting with your fruit and your berries. And then I would, after that, add in a little bit of starch, find out what your body can tolerate. And that's how I would do it, all right? So that's at stevencabral.com/detox. That's the healthiest way to do it. Keep doing your exercise. Calories are great. I mean, you're eating a good amount of calories, so that's fantastic. So yeah, just small tweak there, and you'll also be healthier for it as well, which is nice, right? All right, Danica is up. She's our last question. He or she is our last question for the day. We'll find out. Hi, Doc. Been learning from you for a few years now. I'm 29 years old, probably 30 by the time you read this. When I was 9 years old, I first put on a little weight to have what you call a cortisol belly. I had skinny arms and legs, just the hormonal pudge. Chronic pain in the low back and left hip set in at 11. Depression, fatigue, anxiety all through the school years. Was playing water sports. I'm sure 10 years of daily chlorine didn't help my thyroid, but I was always tired. My menstrual period have always been intense with such bad cramping that I'm out of service for 3 to 6 days a month, sometimes 10. I've been on my healing journey for about 4 years now. I've improved, currently detoxing aluminum, saw on your HTMA lab that I took. I had the 4 high electrolyte pattern. I also took a salivary hormone, and my cortisol throughout the day was extremely low, and my estriol was high. I have a lot of anxiety. I hit a point where my body is just confusing me. I'm fatigued and feel exhausted with body barely producing any cortisol, yet still have panic attacks that sometimes feel like heart attacks. My body's tired. My periods wreck me. I seem to catch every sinus infection going around, and this little layer of body fat is hard to get rid of. Yeah. So Danica, thank you for writing in. Totally understand where you're coming from. So again, you had a period of very, very high stress. You're still stressed, but your body's not responding the same way with cortisol, most likely thyroid as well. And now you have lower levels of progesterone and maybe normal levels of estrogen. I have so many podcasts on this, like so many podcasts. I also have a course on it at stevencabral.com/courses on how to rebalance female hormones. So you may want to check that out as well. Here's the thing. So we need to boost thyroid, lower or normalize estrogen using like estrogen balance. We need to boost thyroid. I don't know who you ran the hormones with. I would definitely run the same hormones test that I just talked about with endometriosis. And that's at stevencabral.com/hormones-test. stevencabral.com/hormones-test. Because you need a plan. Like, this is not simple. We've seen it 10,000 plus times, but this is not simple. This is not like everyday stuff, right? So we need to look at the entire hormonal picture at one time. And then if you can, again, always run the big 5, because maybe there's gut-based inflammation. Maybe there's permeability. Maybe there's higher level omega-6s to omega-3s. But for sure, we need to help you with the luteal phase of your menstrual cycle and get you not out of commission for 3 to 10 days per month. That's obviously too much. That's a third of your month, right? It's anywhere from 10% to 33% of your month. So for sure we can fix this. There's just no doubt about it. Just keep in mind, everything has an underlying root cause. You're getting there, right? No doubt about it. You're getting there, and you will. You will get there. You're 29 years old. You're most likely going to have a menstrual cycle for another, 15 years, maybe 20 years, somewhere in that range, right? So we've got to figure this out. No doubt about it. We can do it. Big 5 labs, or if you can only run one, the stress, mood, and metabolism. And that's exactly what I would do. All right. Hopefully today's answers were helpful on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow answering another half dozen questions from the community. Take care and enjoy your weekend.